on this, let's bring in Republican Congressman Ben Cline. He is on the House Judiciary Committee. Sir, thank you for joining us. You're on the very committee where we had thought we might see Bob Mueller come and testify next week. Now we're hearing that's not going to happen. Why is that?
I'm not sure, and I'm anxious to find out why. It sounds to me like those who were involved in the Steele dossier and the FISA warrants are running scared, and that's why you're seeing them come forward with a lot of public explanation about how they were by the book. And I think that the Attorney General is on the right track. He's looking into exactly what happened with this Steele dossier and why it actually resulted in that FISA warrant.
So are you linking the appearance of Bob Mueller to the new information that we're getting about the Steele dossier and you know, whether or not who knew what about it before it was presented to the FISA court? You think that's why Bob Mueller's not coming to testify before you next week?
No, I do think that the Democrats are realizing that if Mueller is given the opportunity to testify, that our side is going to have just as many questions as their side, and our side is going to be asking about how this came to pass, how the FISA warrants got issued, what evidence they had in addition to the Steele dossier, because now we're finding out today that Steele actually met with officials at the Department of State and that they had doubts about the veracity of the Steele dossier at the very beginning.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about, and I want to pursue that in a second, but I just want to nail down the other thing first. Do you think that Chairman Nadler pulled the invitation to Bob Mueller because he was afraid of what you guys were all going to ask Bob Mueller about the FISA warrant?
I do. I don't. You'd have to ask the chairman that to confirm, but I think that there's a lot more than just the Mueller report that is going to be talked about when Bob Mueller testifies.
Okay, so obviously one of the things that you're referring to is this blockbuster story that was in The Hill, where the then Deputy Assistant Secretary of State made a contemporaneous memo and shared it, saying that you know, she didn't find Steele credible at all, that he had basic facts wrong, including the fact when she was talking about you know, Russia doing hacking and recruiting in the U.S., he had referred to them doing it out of Russia's consulate in Miami, and she notes there is no consulate in Miami. So his very basic facts that were checkable and anyone could find on Google you know, were wrong. And so she had raised a red flag about him. And this was before the FBI swore on October 21st of 2016 in their FISA warrant that they had determined that their source was reliable and they were unaware of any derogatory information pertaining to their informant. That would not be true, because she herself says she wrote this memo before that date saying that he was not credible. Is that one of the things that you want to ask about?
Absolutely, and that's a bombshell. When you have Comey talking about how the information in the Steele dossier was firm and that they had absolute veracity of all of their information to go before the FISA court, that's proving to be false, because what you heard was that the State Department employee actually notified the FBI of her findings. And so you have a real conflict there,
okay,
and that's going to be interesting to pursue.
Congressman, we look forward to seeing that. Hopefully it will be televised. Thank you. Thanks for joining us today. We appreciate it.